Couple therapy gone wrong? Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and trust me, I understand. I used to be a divorce mediator. Okay, it's over 20 years ago, but where do you think I got all of my business when I was helping people get a divorce? It was from couples counselors. They don't know enough about marriage, and so there's so many things that go wrong. One thing could have been that the counselor identified more with your spouse than with you. That's one problem, and you felt ganged up upon. Another problem that happens is that they spend so much time looking at your past that it becomes a distraction. You're never working actually on the marriage. Another problem is they talk about these things that cause more trouble. Then your marriage is already at a bursting point, and then they tell you to do things like tell each other what is wrong with each other, how to negotiate. All of their techniques fail. I have rarely seen when couples counseling actually does any good. Why? Well, you have to understand that in order for you to be successful at any endeavor, you need to understand enough about that endeavor so that you know where all the knobs and levers are. So you don't get into a car when you're 16 years old and learning to drive and someone hands you a key and says, go for it. They teach you. When did you learn about marriage? No one teaches us about marriage. And the premarital courses that are out there, for the most part, frankly, are pathetic. You don't know enough about yourself, truly. You're an individual person, but you don't know how your mind works. You don't know how to control it. If anything, you've learned that you can't control your mind. That when you make a New Year's resolution, you won't keep it. That you're habit bound. These are the things you learn. None of these things are true, by the way. But you have to learn about yourself because you're participating in the marriage. You have to understand how your mind works so you can control it. You have to understand about your needs and which are realistic and which are drummed up, kind of phobic. You have to know about what guides your ideas, what guides your decisions, so you have some control over yourself. You have to understand what affects you because of your gender, male or female. We're souls, it's true, but we live within a body, a physical body, and the physical body is a composite of trillions of cells, and every cell innately has the drive to survive. So multiply that times trillions. You think that's not going to impact your mind? You think you don't have to understand it, be able to spot it? Then you have to understand about your spouse. Their gender is affecting them. And if you don't have the patience, because you don't have the education to understand them, you're going to be frustrated. And you may put out expectations that are unrealistic. So it's necessary. It's necessary for you to understand your spouse based on the problems that they have with their mind because of their gender. Then you have to understand about marriage itself. Why did you get married in the first place? You couldn't answer that right away. You may say things like, I wanted kids, I wanted a companion, I didn't want to die alone. Okay, those are not wrong answers. But there's something much simpler. You wanted to be happy. And you believed, rightfully so, that marriage would produce happiness. It's supposed to. When you're running your marriage properly, you should be happier every single day. Ever expanding happiness. There is no end. There are no limits to happiness. when you know how to manage your marriage, how to be married. So these are very important things. You don't learn this in couples counseling. Way back, when I used to work with couples individually, I'm going to share a story with you. A psych nurse called me and said, we want to meet with you. My husband and I, he's already moved out, and I'm very frustrated. And I said, you're a psych nurse. Why didn't you know all the therapists, you know all of the psychologists, all of the psychiatrists. Why didn't you call one of them? She said, they're crazy. I said, okay, come on in and we'll meet. By the way, she's right. So she and her husband came in, and in our sessions, I start off by saying, look, this will be very didactic. I'm going to explain to you all of these things that are necessary, and then we'll talk a little bit about the problems that you have, but not much. I'd rather just have you have the tools to heal your marriage. And I began talking about what I just spoke with you about. A little deeper, obviously. And about 15 minutes into it, her husband pounded on the desk. And I thought, oh my God, what did I say? Am I in trouble? And he said, they had been, by the way, to couples counseling, of course. She didn't tell me that. And he goes, we have just learned more in a few minutes than we have in 6 months of therapy. I breathed a sigh of relief. They kept going. They ended up moving back together. It didn't take very long because they started to understand, and it came together for them. In my experience, couples counseling goes wrong all the time. Don't go back. Don't try it again. It isn't going to work. You need an education. That's number one. You need to understand the things that we've talked about and much more. You are entitled, when you get married, to lead a life that is so joy-filled, it is the happiest part of your life. You're not only entitled, but you're capable of achieving that. Forget about therapy for marriage. It doesn't even make sense if you think about it. How can you have therapy for marriage? You either know how to do it or you don't. Don't waste your time there. Don't ruin your marriage further by going back into cup. Don't think you have found the right one this time. They don't know. And you deserve to have an amazing marriage. To be happier every day of your life. To feel more loved than you've ever felt, ever in your life. To be floating every day of your life. That's what it's all about. That's what marriage is all about. So I hope this has helped you. If you have a question, put it in the comments section or write to one of our counselors. They're all very on top of all of the teachings that I've put together about marriage, and we can help you. That's what we're here for. So blessings to you, blessings to your spouse, and blessings to your family. And have this vision of your marriage being amazing. It's an achievable vision, and we want you to have that. All right, God bless you.